Did you
Hello,
say
ladies and
puff?
gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for that, Pew. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Part of the Mind. We're here to for another pointless conversation in which we just pick a topic and run with it. Today's topic: the future. Joining me, James Phoenix and Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hello.
Yep.
James has got a toy.
It's a Back to the Future complete series set. It's got a light up flux capacitor on the front.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But yeah, the future. Obviously, they're making breaks in it. However, I was also interested in how much the future's different to what we were led to believe it was.
It's kind of like how the Jetsons thought when we thought the Jetsons would be the future. Now everybody thinks like the future is gonna be some like Walking Dead thing.
I don't think people think zombies will ever happen.
No.
Some people might.
Idiots.
They still exist, even if they're
They
not.
do. They do, but no one actually ever goes to them for what the future's going to be. If you see a guy like in the corner in a tinfoil hat, you don't ask him for social commentary.
Are you sure? Oh my goodness.
But like I remember like when I was a kid, I had a book that was all about stuff that's happening in the future. Part of me thinks they lied deliberately to try and make make kids have the thirst for knowledge to look at all the other facts around why this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But according to that book, we were supposed to be on Mars by now. By the year 2010, we were all supposed to have lived on Mars in the colonies.
When did that book come out?
It was out when I was in the 90s or 80s, 90s.
Okay, so yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like when I was a little kid. It wasn't like a recent one.
Right.
But yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm looking into it. Okay, that's fairly interesting. But no, we're still stuck on the same planet we always are. What is this, 1990? Get a new planet, people. But it's just interesting me, like when you look at stuff like that, like they used to say, like we had a show over here called Tomorrow's World, I think it was, and they showed you the computerized home that was going to be the norm by 2005. And the closest we have is those stupid little AI things that don't really do much. They're fun, but they're not exactly as intelligent as we wanted them to be. It's not like, oh, can you put this DVD on for me? Oh, cool. Can you do this? No, it's more like, oh, Amazon, buy me some, add this to my shopping list. And you can say absolutely anything, and it adds it. I've tested it.
The closest we've gotten is my friend has this whole house wired up to the Google, was it Home? Is that the talking one? Google Home?
Yeah, Google Home, and even that's not as smart as what they're supposed to be. And
But
it's
he
like,
has like all his lights turned up to it. So he's like, Google, turn to the color magenta or whatever. He'll say any color in the rainbow, and he's got bulbs that turn into any color. So like, and the whole house just turns to magenta. And I was like, what if you're like in the bathroom and the light starts changing and like
Yep.
or he has music in the oven and all that.
Yeah, there's some cool ones out there. Like there's a house over here in the UK which are gadgets and stuff where everything's all so inbuilt. Like you turn the tap and you get coffee.
Wow.
But when you look underneath inside the cupboard, you realize there's a giant fucking coffee machine there. But it looks all stylish and new, and you're like, oh, it's all filled with gadgets, but they're not the norm. Like they promised.
Yeah.
And even those, like the one Pew mentioned, it's like, yeah, like the Google Home one, you can change your light colors, maybe turn your lights up and down, but they promised us it was going to be so much different. Like, oh, I want to look outside. Oh, I don't like looking outside now. Make me look like I'm at a football game. Boom, you're at a stadium. You're like, yeah. Oh, put this film on for me. Oh, quickly, make my dinner. Do this, do that. None of that's happening. And most voice commands are shit. I hate stuff with voice commands on stuff because a lot of them, they work, but they don't always work. And when they don't work, they just frustrate you.
There's so many videos of them not working because they don't understand Scottish accents, so it's really funny. They're calling like Siri, you fat hog, like let's like do this or whatever. Gods, you hate the Scottish people, don't you? And, like it's just like really funny.
Yep. Hell, I'll admit, even I have some difficult, not too much, but I have some when I'm using Alexa on the Amazon Fire Stick and I'm holding the button and I'm saying what I wanted to search for. Sometimes it's right, but only because it gives me multiple choice. A couple of times, though, I've said something really simplistic, like Star Trek. None of the choices are Star Trek. None of the choices contain the word star or track. And I'm like, what? When they work, they're fine, but when they don't, they just piss you off. They're not as intelligent as we were led to believe they'd be.
Yeah.
I also like the poll that people have online of which way do you think mankind's going to kill us first? There's scientists literally researching how to bring dinosaurs back, despite 4 films telling them that's a bad idea. Now 5 films, but it's a case of there's literally people working to try and make really intelligent AI robots, despite knowing the Terminator and lots of science fiction is built on the very premise that robots will kill us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many of these things out. People are just like, well, okay, which way are they going to kill us? They're going to kill us one way. Like, do you remember the God particle thing that was going around
Yeah.
with the collider? And they mentioned there's actually a possibility that what's going to happen is all life as we know it will cease to exist. It will create a black hole which essentially destroys us all. That was one of the things the scientists said was a possibility. I'm like, well, don't do it. But we need to know whether or not this part, it might not be the God part, it might be another one where they were doing this collider thing. And I'm like,
There's
then don't do it.
There's another thing that's going around lately. I think it's with I forget who's the company, but there's a lot of things with genetic editing. Maybe you saw the John Oliver thing about it. And then like the whole idea was that they can put genetic editing kits to people in a more commonplace setting. But here's the thing: if you're not a geneticist, you probably shouldn't be doing that because you don't know what it could do changing out your genes and stuff like that. Like this one guy who wants to who's this an actual thing being done like on a mass scale. He wants to take out the reproductive gene to remove malaria from insects to help the kids in not Australia, Africa. So that's what he wants to do: take all the bugs with malaria and make them not be able to reproduce. But because he doesn't know what kind of like things that could cause, because like sometimes when you try to create a vaccine for a virus, sometimes you end up creating a super virus. So they don't want to create super malaria.
And
So they're doing it. They're doing the whole testing on a remote island and just doing that right now to see how it affects before they can even possibly consider going further.
Which it would be stupid letting people do that. Though I would question when you say it is being done right now on a mass scale. How mass?
Like people can like buy them relatively cheaply.
But I meant how much are they doing that?
It's like enough. I don't know. Probably like I don't know. It's a few 100,000 maybe.
Yeah, like I've literally never heard of it. That's why I was like, it can't be that. It can't be that on mass scale. If that makes sense.
Well, I guess
It's
that's because
just
how you define it. There are a lot of different scientists that are experimenting with different ways that the gene therapy could be used, and then as
No,
we're
you're on about scientists. Pew's on about random people taking.
well, yeah, I mean, there's some schmuck selling kits saying mute your own genes, but to be honest, it's just a fancy chemistry set. Most people aren't going to be able to do jack shit with it.
This guy tried to make his muscles bigger.
Yeah, he wanted to alter himself to have bigger muscles or whatever.
To be fair, I'm guessing lots of people would want to try that.
Yeah.
There's literally loads of stuff on the market now where you like buy a big drum. It's like eat this stuff, and you're gonna suddenly be a weightlifting body, and you're like, no, it's literally ground up powder. And the reason they look like that is because they're lifting weights, not because they took powder. Fuck you.
Yeah.
No, it works. Does it?
Well, I don't doubt that they probably do use the powder, but they're probably also working out like crazy. It's not just the powder.
Just so you know,
that's what I mean.
The one that's being sold right now in a bunch of kits to literally like anybody for like $300 is called CRISPR. That's the specific one.
Well, CRISPR is the name of that branch of genetic testing overall, not just the kit that's being sold.
No, but I mean that's like the one that's being sold out the most. Is the ones like the most commonplace.
No, it's not a place. CRISPR is literally the scientific name of that kind of genetic testing. It's
no,
not
I
like...
know, but I'm just saying it's their kits are the ones that are being sold. Like the same people associated with or whatever.
Yeah, it's a kid decides to do the same kind of test. Yes, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. I will also say the worst invention that we've had in modern day, in my opinion, is the internet.
Ha!
There's a good argument to be made for that.
Literally, like the internet with the things of, like, did you see the Android that made people go crazy on the internet that was talking and it was going, "Hi, I want to kill you all." Just joking. If you look at the clues of the video, the whole thing's fake.
Yeah.
But yet lots of people ran with it like, "Oh, yay." And the internet itself is literally taking various stuff and twisting it.
I was gonna say, well, for a second, I thought you were talking about the Sophia thing, which is the first like AI that's been granted citizenship in like Iraq or something.
And no, I was talking about there was a computer where it was like just a head, and she's making jokes and she's doing various other stuff. But if you look at it all and you follow all of it, it's really fake. Like there's clues there that it's been faked.
The Sophia thing, I think, is meant to help restore like infrastructure or something, and like design and plan out stuff for them. And I think they're only citizens in Iraq because it's not as hard to be a citizen because they're in a super terrible shape. Maybe it was Afghanistan. It's one of them.
It's like, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but without going too political, because that's not the point of these videos. But it's like me and you were discussing the other day, Jim. The pictures that went along of like kids in cages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize when some of those were taken?
Yeah, no, some of those are for kids that were in cages before, years ago. Yeah.
A lot of the pictures were 2012. No one gave a shit until the internet suddenly told them it was Donald Trump's fault, and suddenly they all cared and started typing. And you're like, no, stop lying. If you'd made a big deal about it in 2012, maybe something would have been different now. But that's all the internet does, is it takes every little thing, it just twists it. And it's ironically, the internet's ruining a lot of the progress forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't believe anything's real, you're not going to be trying to help benefit it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, cat ass.
Yeah.
No, it's quiet.
It is.
Wasn't sure if you guys had anything to say.
I certainly agree with your point about the internet. I think the internet is one of those really double-edged swords where there's so much negativity and horrible things that have come from it that, even in comparison with all the good that it's done, there's an argument to be made whether it's done more harm than good.
Yeah, I would argue the internet's done way more harm. Like, one of the biggest things that people have mentioned, which is no offense to Jim, because I know he's one of them, it's ruined people's intelligence.
Okay.
Because one of the studies they found is a lot of people don't have the, I don't know what you'd call it, but the thirst or the need or whatever to want to actually research stuff, because all they can do is just go on Wikipedia. And as a result, those people, if you put them in a room and gave them a test with the people who use the old-fashioned methods, they're actually underperforming compared to the ones that use the old methods, because the old ones are researching it and retaining the knowledge. The new ones aren't retaining it because they know it's at their fingertips anytime they want to look up something on Wikipedia. And that's hurting society as a whole, especially because Wikipedia can be fake as well.
True.
That's why it's banned from a lot of universities and college. Like, literally, which one was it? I think it was the Big Cat. I think it was Big Cat, for example. I'm just going to use that one. There's a recent one. The day he was fired, there was literally something put on his Wikipedia page. If WWE fired him with the notice, and we have come to terms with Big Cass, and you can't teach that. Which they didn't.
No.
But Wikipedia left it up for a ridiculously long time. Because Wikipedia is full of shit. It can be full of shit. And ironically, one of the best cases with that was, did you ever see the thing, Pew, with that comedian over here, Dave Gorman?
I don't know who that is.
I don't need to backtrack 2 seconds to say a comedian from over here. No, he's the one I showed you the picture where he had the web page with his cat.
Okay.
HRS Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember showing you that one. But yeah, he went on Wikipedia, and it tells him on his own Wikipedia page that he went backpacking through Europe, something he never actually did. He himself went on Wikipedia and removed it. 2 days later, it was back up with the thing around it to give, what do you call it, to give like the evidence or quotation or what the fuck it's called, citation or whatever.
Mhm.
And if you click it, it takes you to a news site that quotes the Wikipedia article. That's not proof.
No.
And it's like, because so much of that's done that, you can't trust it. But the internet does blindly nowadays, and it's horrible. Which is what, like I said, that's one of the things. Like, the internet's brought out the worst of people. It's hurt humanity a lot. It's done some good. It has done some good, but I do honestly think it's hurt more overall. I do think it's halted progress online overall. Like, for example, thanks to the internet, I know what pineapple pen is.
Do I want to know?
Thanks to the internet, it's a video. But thanks to the internet, I know who Poppy is. Thanks to the internet, I know what planking was. I know what the ice bucket challenge was. A lot of people spent a lot of time doing these stupid meme stuff and all that. They might have actually done some good if they hadn't done that, if the internet hadn't been around. You don't know. Like, the
True.
lives could have gone very different ways. Instead of being like, we need to plank, we need to pretend we're a plank, they could have been like, I don't know, we need to help research this, because or we need to have helped fix this. But yeah, the future obviously is different to how we thought it'd be.
Certainly.
What invention are you most disappointed we don't have yet, Pure?
Holodecks.
Nice. How about you, Jim?
Ooh. Sorry, hang on, my headset's beeping.
Right when he has to make a decision.
Um,
Shocking.
huh.
Oh, and now he's thirsty right when he has to make a decision as well. Oh, wait, his imaginary butler's calling him now. What's that? Lionel's burnt your clothes?
Nah, no.
Quick, run fast.
No, replicators.
Nice. Yeah, the ones I was surprised none of you said, which is I was letting you guys go first, is everyone always asks, where's my hoverboard or where's my jetpack?
It'd be nice to have them, but I don't know that I would use them.
I would definitely use a jetpack. I'm telling you, I could go put jetpack on and just go and go to work. I'd fucking do that.
It'd be so expensive, though.
Yeah, imagine you have to pay for gas to power it, and
Not necessarily, because obviously we're talking future. I never once saw fucking Boba Fett, even though that technically is a long time ago, before anyone says that. But I never saw like Boba Fett having to stop at a gas station and fill himself up.
true.
They don't show that. That's in between the panels.
Yeah, so logically, there's got to be some sort of source that's constantly doing this.
Well, they did do a thing in there's a book series that's called The Uglies. It's relevant to my point, but the point is they had a technology where the entire ground when they made new cities would have a magnetic foundation. So when they would ride, it's kind of like a hoverboard. So as long as you're under the magnetic foundation, you could have reverse polarity on whatever you wanted to travel.
See, that's clever.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we have hoverboards now, but they're not fucking hoverboards, and they should stop calling themselves that.
Yeah, no, they're really not. They're handleless scooters.
You could have a water jetpack.
I think you mean handleless segways.
Yeah, that.
Because they're sideways, but no, because a handleless scooter would be a skateboard. Just throwing that out there. But yeah,
fair.
Fair. Yeah, but no, it's a case of like there's the water jetpack that you've seen that goes, you can go along water, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
If I was surrounded, if I was constantly living near water, that'd be really.
If you're on an island, lived on Hawaii, it might be useful.
Everyone lives on an island. That's how the world works. It's just some islands are bigger than others. But yeah, it's a case of with the jetpacks, like there was someone working on fan systems, which was cool. Like if you could do a fan system jetpack that was electronic, so like you take it off, I don't know, like you take it off at work or something, just plug it into the wall.
The amount of thrust that would be needed would be ridiculous, and it'd be way too heavy, and it'd have to lift itself up. Like you would reach a point where you'd have to have a big enough fan that could lift its own weight, and then you.
True.
Yeah. A lot of future technology doesn't work. It's like there's a lot of problems with holodecks.
Yeah.
See all the problems Microsoft went through with their room that they were doing.
Oh, did they do a room?
They were doing the Microsoft room, and if you look up some of the issues with it, like you had to have a room that was only a certain size, completely empty, certain light conditions, and even then it didn't always work. But it's like, it's future tech. We're gonna make something up. Like it'll be lightweight fans.
Mm.
That's why you need to buy the whole room and
Yeah.
install it in your house.
I will say, you mean the room?
Ha!
Yeah.
The room. Okay, but yeah, basically, I'm not sure if you guys saw it. Speaking of hoverboards, did you ever see White Rabbit Project Pew on Netflix?
I have. I like that show.
Did you see Grant's hoverboard he made?
Yes.
I argue not a hoverboard.
Yes.
I argue Green Goblin glider.
Yes.
Yeah.
He made a hoverboard because he's like none of them exist, and they had the similar conversation about why, like the hoverboard wanting them to exist and stuff, which is cool because that is a famous saying. Where's my hoverboard? But what he did with that was he took drones that everyone uses, and he essentially built like a Green Goblin style glider that used like 4 or 5 drones or so. It might be more that lifted him up on command and took him where he needed to go. That's fucking cool.
Nice.
But there's so much technology that's just not really that big right now, or not as big as it is. Like I love the fact VR is finally a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could do more with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't like the PC ones. You need room scaling stuff set up, and that's fine. And some of the others, and the PlayStation one's cool. I like that for how it works and its and its cheapness compared to the other one.
Yeah.
However, none of these are really as much the VR dream as what people were saying VR was going to be years ago. Like hell, there used to be a VR show over here years ago in the 90s that had better VR. It was shit. No, it was shit VR, not about VR Troopers or anything. That's what you're thinking.
There was stuff that more supported that, like what was it, the 3 feet by 3 feet cube that you have on the frictionless thing you run around in, that one. If more stuff supported that, like everything supported that, like if Sony made it, and like and when I say when Sony made it, I just mean you could mass produce it in a way where you could make it cheaper or way down the cost, so you could have it to more people. I'd buy the shit out of that.
Yeah, but one of the things with VR is even if you're sat down and you're using it, it doesn't really feel as close or VR as it should. Because one of the good things about VR is like disabled people should be able to put this on and feel like they're at the events and it can change lives. That's cool. Instead, a lot of the games are, oh look, fruit's coming at me. Oh look, now mushrooms are coming at me. Oh look, something else is coming at me. It's like, no, they're not really as VR. Well, they're not what we hoped. The TV show I was referring to from the 90s, Jim, is called Nightmare. You need to look that up. It was fucking brilliant as a show.
Okay.
The VR on it, the reason I say the VR on it is shit is it was entirely fake. Essentially, it was a kid who was supposed to be in VR type thing wearing this magical helmet.
Okay.
But it was just a bucket that had been painted. And his friends had to tell him where to go by going like up, left, up to try and navigate through this maze. It was awesome, but when you think back on how it worked, like none of this, like all the special effects you've done, is for our benefit. He's seeing nothing. Fuck you.
Yep.
Because if he could see more, whenever they sent him into danger, he probably would have said, "Are you sure about that, guys?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to die if I go this way." Oh, okay. But no, not once did he question it. He's just like, no, okay, I'll just blindly walk into a pit.
Yep.
But digital stuff's taking off.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Downside to that is I feel like we mentioned before now, too many things are going digital.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we mentioned, like Disney's bringing out a Netflix killer.
Yep.
Amazon's got a Netflix killer. I'm using air quotes whenever I'm saying all these because none of them really will. But they're all trying to be the next Netflix. But the problem with this is the reason Netflix worked is it was one fee of like, well, £8 a month.
Thereabout. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much, and you get to stream movies. The problem is if you start taking movies off this, and then okay, I've paid £8 a month for this. Now I have to pay £8 a month for this one. And I have to pay £8 a month for this one and this one and this. Eventually, you're back to paying what you were with cable, and it undoes the entire purpose of why people preferred Netflix, and it hurts everything.
Yep.
But I understand why the companies are doing that. I know video game companies are still hoping to someday in the future do streaming as a thing.
Mm.
Some of them say it's not this gen coming up, it's going to be the next gen.
You're
Others say it's going to be longer.
You're referring to PlayStation Now?
I'm not referring to PlayStation now, I'm referring to the fact they've said PS6 essentially won't be a console. It will literally just be playing the games via the streaming, the latest ones. In the best way, and Ubisoft have said that that's how they're going to go. So, like PlayStation Now is essentially the stepping stone, but it's not really like when you stream the PS4 ones. It's a hell of a lot of lag and problems compared to just putting the disc in and playing it now. But they're all saying no, it's going to be completely seamless, and everyone will be able to just buy just the pad and the connector, and then just never have to buy a new console.
Okay,
And I'm like,
that's why it's the PlayStation 6 and not the PlayStation 5.
yeah, it's PlayStation 6 because they're saying it's going to be a couple of year gens out. So Ubisoft's investing in it. EA's investing in it now. I think Microsoft and Sony have probably done that too, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
The problem they've all got with that is they're probably all investing in it, but they're all probably going to have their own systems, like on PC, where you've got Steam, but let's not just be a dick and pretend Steam's the only thing available. Origin is perfectly as good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
And has various games and stuff. But the problem will be if the consoles are gone and we're supposed to be able to stream from Ubisoft or PlayStation or EA, we're probably going to need different devices to do it. I don't think they're all going to be on the same device that you'll be able to do it from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be shit. If hey Jim, what do you want to play? Oh, you want to play 2K with me on the? You want to play the new wrestling game, the 2K game on the PlayStation? Okay, is this the PlayStation streaming service we need, or do we need the 2K streaming service for this? Oh shit! Oh, or has this gone third party to another one? What? Like, and to be fair, this concept's been tried before. Who remembers OnLive?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Nope.
Yeah, I was considering OnLive at one point. It dramatically failed. OnLive, basically, you got like a little, essentially like an Amazon Fire Stick looking device, like a USB, whatever you want to call it, a HDMI thing. You plug into you plug it into your TV. You got a control pad, and then you could stream and play through like a Netflix subscription, like Batman: Arkham Asylum, Lego Batman, because they had a contract with Warner Brothers, and then they had like a couple of other games. You're like, oh, this is cool. I can see why you're doing this. This is cool, and they had a big catalog at first, but their service was shit, and eventually that catalog started to go down and down and down with the latest. Like each time there's new games coming out, less and less were going on that, and then eventually none new ones went on it, and then eventually they just sold it. It was a cool concept though, because like I'll be honest, paying like £8 a month for essentially Netflix for video games would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, certainly.
I think they have that on GameFly. Or a few
They
other
might have. They might have at one point, but none of them are as good right now as just straight up downloading the game or playing the game.
Yeah.
Like Netflix, I'd argue a few years back, streaming a movie was fucking shit. I'm just gonna call it out there. Nowadays, when I stream a movie, it works. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's the issue with that is the streaming technology needs to take off.
Yeah, that's.
They need to because no one wants to play. Say, I don't know. No one wants to play God of War 12 on PlayStation streaming if every time Kratos takes a step he freezes.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have to figure out how to increase the internet infrastructure to make that work first.
Yep. Because let's face it, the one I would argue for a movie, every 10, 20 minutes or so, if a movie goes and then continues, that's fine.
Mm.
If it does that in a video game, you get way more annoyed because a video game you're trying to control it, and the slightest pause could have affected your entire game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that was supposed to be in the future. Like, who remembers the old a pitiful drop of water onto the food, and poof, you got a whole meal.
Yep.
I thought that was just on the Jetsons.
That's also a thing that's been in a lot of science fiction.
Yeah, and if you remember Back to the Future Part 2, they had a Black & Decker hydrator where they had a little pizza that came in a bag. It was like that big, and they put it in, and it came out as a whole pizza.
Yeah. I'll admit, a lot of the stuff you see in the Jetsons, if not most of it, was in other science fiction first.
Probably.
And a lot of it has been in other stuff since then because it was on the Jetsons.
Where's our conveyor belts everywhere?
Yep. And that's why they can't walk, like in Harvey Birdman.
Yeah.
Or like when they had to go back in time to find wrestlers to fight the Big Show, and they didn't understand why the sidewalk didn't move, and they were dead by the time they got from the parking lot to the arena.
Yep. I will admit, Harvey Birdman did that joke better.
Did they?
They literally, they did it first, but also they were stood on his carpet waiting for it to go. He comes back the next day, and they still haven't got to the desk yet. They still don't know how to do this. It was brilliant.
Yeah, one of them died.
When you think about the joke, it doesn't really work because they were constantly walking around inside the house. But
yeah,
I don't care. It's a funny joke.
It is a funny joke.
But yeah, like I said, like a lot of the stuff in the Jetsons, if not, I'd argue nearly all of the stuff on the Jetsons was in other stuff first.
Yeah.
But a lot of all the cool tech hasn't. Like I'd argue, if you look at the 90s, or if you think back on the 90s to when it was to now, technology's not that much different. There's some advances, but it's not too dramatically different as we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like I argue, if you took someone from the 90s and you drop them into this world, it'll take them like a couple of days, maybe a week or so, but they'll be caught up with pretty much a lot of the tech. Whereas if you took someone from the 90s and you dropped them into like the year 2000 in any sci-fi film made before 1980, they probably would know how the tech works.
Yeah.
Like I want holograms.
Holograms would be cool.
Holographic movies would be amazing. I'm thinking, of course, only entirely PG.
Of course.
I'm not hoping Pornhub gets a holographic section. What the hell are you on about, Jim?
Don't we already have a
Just like I don't know for a fact that Pornhub has a VR section that if you download it when you're a subscriber to a flash drive and stick it on your PlayStation, if you go through their media player and set it into VR mode, those movies work perfectly on the PlayStation VR. How would I know this?
Because you did it.
Why would you accuse me of such things, Jim?
Yeah, please see our PlayStation VR video for more details.
Of course I did that, and it's always fun to grab that move stick. But it's a case of technology. I'm sorry, whenever you think of a movie technology, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking, how can this be done for porn?
Oh, yeah.
Another thing the internet's famous for.
Yep.
Oh, fun fact, did you know the internet isn't mainly porn?
Really?
This actually saddens me, but one of the studies they did on the various internet sites, and obviously they said it couldn't be 100% accurate, that'd be impossible with how many pages there is.
Yeah.
But when they went through the internet and just kept going and going and going, from what they found, porn was like 10 or 20 or it was somewhere between 10 and like 30%.
Okay.
A
And the
whopping,
rest was just fanfics of Harry Potter.
a whopping like 50 to 60% was advertisements.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
There's more advertisements on the internet than the actual stuff. That horrifies me.
Yep.
Well, speaking of adverts, obviously we don't have a topic, so I'm not going to really say off topic, but it is slightly off topic. You know what really pisses me the fuck off?
What's that?
When you go to watch a trailer on YouTube or an advert on YouTube, and you have to watch an advert before you can watch your advert.
Yeah.
I can understand it. If it's a lengthy video or a music video or something, that's fine. But if I'm watching, say, a trailer for, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto 6, let's say when that comes out.
Okay.
I watch a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. I shouldn't have to sit there and watch a trailer for Halo 10 before I can get through to watch Grand Theft Auto. That shouldn't be a thing. That's fucking shit. And it's funny I use those comparisons because a lot of people got sick of Rockstar's aggressive advertisements, as they called it, for GTA. Because GTA 5, it was attached to a lot of videos and a lot of sites, and to the point, even people who liked Grand Theft Auto, a lot of them were starting to get sick of it before it came out because they were bombarded with it too much.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked. I just don't like those aggressive adverts. So what else were you guys hoping to see?
Honestly, the thing that we could really use that would kill a lot of birds is if we could ever get around to inventing that.
Time travel?
No, that would be too. But no, more simply that fusion unit that Doc put on the time machine in the future that turned garbage into fuel. The Mr. Fusion. We need that.
I was gonna say if the internet could be more tactile, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Pew, I know you're desperate and we're close, but the internet is not going to fuck you.
But if I want to fuck the internet.
Actually, I'd argue the internet probably is going to fuck you, just not in the way you would like.
That's true.
I mean, like, I'm just saying that if I could, like, you know, instead of like a mouse and stuff, like, I could, like, you know, the Tony Stark way, like, you know.
Yes, that would be cool. I agree with that. If we get the hollow screens and things.
That's what I meant by tactile.
I'm gonna say you can.
I know you can, but right now it's super inconvenient and difficult and hard to use.
It's more, I'd say, more expensive and hard to use. There's been a lot of advances in AR where they use and they start, like, some people will start using AR to teach and stuff at the moment over here.
Yeah.
But it's really fucking expensive. No one's going to be doing that just to go, oh, cool, I've got all this technology. What shall I do now? Says Pew. Oh, I know. Nintendo's webpage. Oh, new Zelda coming out. Oh, yeah, I've used my technology so well. It's not priced for the average Joe. Like me, for example, let's say I was to buy it, I couldn't just go, okay, let's see. Okay, DC superhero news. Okay, yeah, I've wasted my money. At that point, you know what I mean? It's way too priced.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we'll get to the point where that is more of a normal thing and replacing regular screens.
Yep. One thing I kind of wish they would do, but they probably won't, and I can understand why. We touched upon this a while ago when we mentioned it for something, but I know Pew remembers it. Do you remember the Sony TV?
Yes.
Where you could put on glasses and you could watch a different screen to me?
Yes.
Don't you think cinemas could save a hell of a lot of money if they did that?
Yes, but the problem would be sound.
Yeah, you would have to include headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, earphones, which is good because that'll encourage people not to fucking talk. But one, you could argue it could be beneficial for different movies, but that's not even what I was thinking. Well, that would be beneficial. Okay, I'm gonna go see Spider-Man. Pew wants to go see Mamma Mia 2. We're gonna sit next to each other, but we're gonna put on those glasses, and we're both gonna see and hear our different film. That's cool.
Yeah, but the problem is, won't those big headphones get in the way when you're trying to make out with the person next to you? I mean, that's what people really go to the movies for.
I just said I was next to you. That will not happen.
No, I'm not talking about you.
Stop harassing me, Pew.
I'm just saying.
It's not going to happen.
A lot of times in shows.
No means no. I am not a piece of meat, Pew.
Oh, you sure?
But no, I wasn't even thinking for different films. I was thinking, and I know no one will make out on these because the people who go there are probably all virgins, anime movies.
Ha.
Because tell me an up, Pew. Let's say I'm trying to think of an anime Pew would watch that I might watch. Ah, fuck! I'll just go with one I know's got a film that I went to go watch in the cinema. Sword Art Online, which Pew may not care about, but Sword Art Online had a film where it was all in Japanese on there. It'd be so much beneficial if I could have gone on there and select dub and watch the dub with the headphones. It'd be like, okay, that's cool. But the person next to me could watch subbed.
The first 10 episodes are good. The rest of it just goes off the fucking rails, and it's like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who like that. To be fair, though, like when I went to the cinema, to watch this Sword Art film. That was fucking packed. To go watch this film in Japanese, I went with someone who had an extra ticket. And I was like, okay, I'll go watch this. It started. It's all in Japanese. I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna have to sit here reading for 2 hours about an anime I don't watch. But it was still an enjoyable film.
Who's gonna see Titans Go later? Yeah.
I want to see Titans Go later this month.
I want to see it too. Also, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's a thing.
Yeah, and Incredibles 2.
I do want to go see
Incredibles 2.
Titans Go.
How was Incredibles 2?
I liked it.
Cool.
I've heard Incredibles 2 is meant to be good, which is cool. I do want to go see Teen Titans Go. I have no interest in Ant-Man and Wasp.
That's fair.
How about that Mamma Mia 2?
It looks weird because it looks like it's both a sequel and a prequel.
That's fair. I like the fact I mentioned to someone who was going to watch that. I didn't even watch the first Mamma Mia, but I know they did. I said to them, based on the song, there's only one name for the sequel. If they haven't named it that, they've got it wrong.
What?
And apparently that's what it's called, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Yeah. I was like, that's the only thing the second one can be called. If it's called anything else, it's wrong. And when I found out, that was what it was called, I was like, oh, thank fuck, they got it right. I give them major props for that. Because if you fucked up that, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, that's such a simple thing. It's like if Fast and the Furious had named their second film anything other than Too Fast, Too Furious. I'm kidding. That was a horrible title. The Fast and the Furious titles, when you go and read through them, they're fucking horrible. Like, there's The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which is fine. But then later on in the films, you get Fast and the Furious.
It's just Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Fast and Furious. But because they removed the words "the" from "the Fast" and "the Furious," it's somehow a different title. You're like, no. That's a shit title. I don't like this.
Could any of them be called Faster and Furiouser?
It'd be like if Star Wars Episode 1 had just been called Star War, because this is the first war. I would just be like, no, why are you doing this?
No.
I mean, it worked for some stuff like Aliens. I can kind of see why. Fair enough. But no. But yeah. Like I said, the future, there is like stem cell research and stuff.
Yep.
I'm hoping we eventually get cures for a lot of the big diseases we need cures for, but I know we never will. Because the reason why we never will, as people have mentioned, and it's not a political thing, it's people on both sides who gives a shit. The people in charge know this, and the people running the charities know this. If there's ever a cure, all those people lose their jobs, all of them stop making money. Therefore, they don't put in as much effort into curing it as they should.
Yeah. Although, let's truth be told, I mean, it's true now. Yeah. It's true now, but especially even if we ever do make it out into space and start meeting other people from other planets and whatnot, there's always going to be new diseases that are going to need to be cured.
Yep.
I mean, it's all. I mean, if we cured cancer tomorrow, it's not like all the people working on cancer couldn't turn around and say, "Okay, we're going to take all these resources and we're going to do Alzheimer's next." I mean, there's always something else they can work on.
just to actually go political. I can't wait till we go into space and we find an alien race, and the right side decides they need to build a wall around them, and the left side, being the bleeding little snowflakes they are, like, who cares if they've murdered us all? They should have equal rights.
Okay.
There was literally people protesting a serial killer on death row recently from the left, being like, no, but he shouldn't get the death penalty. He literally murdered children and people. That shouldn't be a thing. Stop being snowflakes. Sometimes death penalties are good things for people like that.
Let us in the comments know how you feel about death penalties.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should kill everyone. Like, if someone steals a car, you shouldn't fucking murder them. But if someone's likely to kill an innocent person and wear their face as a mask, there's a good chance that that person should probably just be erased.
Somebody should explain that to Batman.
Yep, Batman, who doesn't kill except for all the times he kills. Just like Superman, who constantly kills Lois. But no, it's a case of, yeah, and it's just weird, like I said, going forward. Like, I also think that's something that people need to start doing more of, speaking of political stuff.
What's that?
As people mentioned, there's a lot of people in your country, more so than meant to, and people give credit to, who are meant to actually be neutral.
Yep.
People should stop going, oh, wait, which side is this guy on? Oh, this one's on the opposite side to me. I'm going to hate everything they do. Oh, this person's on the same side of me. I'm going to agree with everything. No, people should think more and actually come together for a common goal and actually help benefit society as a whole. Because all we're getting at the moment is just hatred and shit for the sake of it on both sides, and death threats on both sides, and it's shit because it's just tearing everyone apart. And I'm not even doing that in a "you're tearing me apart" reference to my earlier reveal of the Disaster Artist Blu-ray. That review is coming.
Yes.
Much like me when I watch my Pornhub VR. You're welcome. I figured Pew would enjoy that sticky reference. Pew looks aroused. I can't tell, the box auto zoomed in on Jim's giant head. But no, yeah, like I said, if mankind, ironically, I think mankind's biggest enemy or threat is mankind.
Pretty much.
Need to start working together more and moving forward. And both sides both sides of everything just need to work together, and we could actually do a lot of good. And because the future is what we make of it. So we actually need to think, okay, do we want to bring up children in a society where everyone hates everyone based on the fact they think differently to them? We should bring them up we should bring everyone up more to agree with the neutral sides. It's normally beneficial.
Yeah, hatred. Nobody's born biased or hating. It's all learned.
Yep. I seem to remember that actually being on the tagline for the Hitler movie. No, there was a Hitler, The Rise of Evil, and the tagline was something like, evil isn't born, it's created. And you see how he goes to the way he was. Because let's face it, he wasn't born fucking leading the Nazis. Let's face it.
That's true.
He was a painter at one point.
He was.
Yeah, and World War I didn't help any.
Yep.
No, that's, yeah.
Yep. Which, like I said, he was a painter at one point. Like that guy I used to troll Jim on here with the image. Fun fact for you, whatever his name is, where he paints like, I'm going to paint a little bush over here and all that stuff.
Yeah, Jim Ross. Not Jim
His
Ross.
show,
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Jim Ross is the wrestling commentator.
Just going to paint a little bush over here and behind it. A rattlesnake! A rattlesnake! That'd be an entirely different painting show. But yeah, it'd be a case of, that show's actually on Amazon Prime over here. I saw it recently. I was like, first I saw his face. I was like, wait, what? Hang on, let's go back. What the fuck was that? Oh my god, it's on here. I intended to watch it. When part of me was like, I've seen that. It was the dullest fucking show. It's cool to reference, to remember it, but it was a shit show.
All right.
But yay. Tomorrow, here on Pets of the Mind, we have the PlayStation Plus games that everyone's totally played.
I played 2 of them. I'm going to play the third one tonight.
And I'm assuming Pew's played none of them.
I've played
Besides Heavy Rain, which you played on PS3.
Yeah, I already played Heavy Rain, so.
Yeah.
Yes, you played the one that you hadn't downloaded anything ready. But yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so. That's how much she cares. But yeah.
Yep.
Join us tomorrow for PlayStation Plus.